me. I fear the dead of night. I fear dying alone. I fear cuts too deep. I fear broken bone. I fear becoming irrelevant, useless, forgotten. I fear poverty. I fear the unknown. I fear the road ahead. I feel it's concrete. I fear what's set in stone just isn't concrete. I fear being accepted. I fear being understood. I fear succeeding in this world, meaning I'd probably fail if I could. I fear I'm not strong enough, and I fear that because I fear weighty burdens, I fear tests too tough. I fear the hope I need just isn't enough. And beyond all what I may fear, what I fear most is love. I fear that what I fear becomes nothing but fear. That in the light of God, my hope disappears. I fear that fear will take me and make grey my hairs, where too many grey hairs have already appeared. I fear that this life becomes a part of my fear. I fear that my love of this world becomes a burden to bear. I fear that petty fear grows from atoms to despair. I fear the apple that Adam couldn't resist. I fear my tyrannical lust. I fear I cannot resist. I fear Tyrannosaurus-like anger that causes me to buckle and drop. I fear the taste of chained up goats is too good to give up. I fear my ego. I fear the delayed time of prayer. I fear my head held up high. I fear feeling I'm greater. I fear not working hard enough, however harsh, however rough. I fear not giving enough mercy. I fear not giving enough love. I fear the burden of sin. I fear not embracing burdens. I fear being too arrogant to love my prostrations. I fear not loving God. I fear not being loved by the one whose mercy outweighs his justice over us. I fear not of man. I fear not of this world. I fear not of evil. I fear not of what's cursed. I fear not of flesh and bone that fears what I have to give. I fear not of envious eyes that hate the fact that I live. I fear not of mere tongues that speak as if they are divine. I fear not of the darkness that seeks to extinguish my light. I fear no disease, be it people or virus. I fear not loss, because with loss I am blessed. I fear not of loneliness, because this world is my prison. I fear not of night, because my sun hath arisen. I fear not a broken heart, because I live with a heart broken. I fear not of love, because love was what I have become. I fear not of injustice, because I know justice will come. I fear not of dying, because my deeds hold me up high. I fear not of death, because I'm ready to die. I fear nothing and no one. What I fear is myself. I only fear sin. I fear the nafs. I fear I.